Hello, everybody. This is Cam Shea, and joining me is Mr. Luke Riley.
That's my name.
And that was why I paused for you to confirm that. From the IGN Australia team, we're here today to have a bit of a chat about a game called Skater.
Uh-huh.
And you, in particular, Luke, while you haven't spent much time with this game yet, you're with me because you're a huge fan of the Skate series from EA.
Enormous fan.
Yeah, and this game obviously is, it's for mobile devices.
Yep.
It's iPhone and iPod Touch. So it's obviously going to be a scaled-back version. It's touch controls as opposed to like the flick-it style controls, but it actually emulates quite a lot of what Skate did. It has a similar kind of focus on technical skating, which is really, really enjoyable. And it's going to be kind of tricky for me to try and play at the same time as talk.
Yeah.
But we'll see how we go. I might just quickly run you very quickly through the basic controls. You're basically tapping the tail and the nose for ollieing and nollying. You're flicking the tail or the nose for shove-its. And then when you're in the air, you're tapping left or right for kick flips and heel flips. And then you can kind of, you can manual as well.
Yep.
And you can do tricks out of manuals. There's limits to what you can do. There are tricks that are obviously missing. They've tried to keep the control scheme relatively kind of clean.
Yeah.
And not, not destroy it by overcomplicating things. But it actually works, pretty well.
It's very, just as Skate before it, which was based around the analog controls. It's a very subtle game.
That's right.
And it demands a bit of finesse, but it's more grounded than, say, something like the Tony Hawk games.
Completely.
Basically, yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, this little meter up the top, that's another thing I forgot to mention, which basically that's your body varial.
Yeah.
So you can do stuff like you can body varial one way while you shove it the other way, and then you catch the board in the air. You don't necessarily have to catch the board. If you just land on the board, you'll still land the trick. But obviously, if you want it to look clean and nice, you want to catch the board.
Yep.
The other thing I'll just quickly point out is that you can drop a pin anywhere in the world, which I've just done.
Mm-hmm.
So that basically means I can go along and stuff up, or even if I don't, just instantly get back to that point.
And just like we said, just like Skate, where you drop a marker, and that was one of the greatest things about that game. How you could just session a spot constantly.
Yep, and that's the thing is, different people got different stuff out of Skate, but for me, it was very much about sessioning spots and just getting the subtlety and the nuance of the controls down pat.
Yep.
And enjoying the small stuff like just hitting a rail and just popping like a backside heel flip just into a nose slide.
Yeah.
Just getting it right. It just feels so good. So I'll also just quickly say that we had some technical issues with my iPhone. So we're actually playing a clean version of this game, so we haven't unlocked everything. So I'll just show you. So anyway, just before we get into that, here's the trick list.
Yep.
So it's it's a pretty decent selection of tricks, and there's little kind of icons to indicate the body varial involved and which way you're flicking it and how hard you're flicking left or right. So it's quite a neat little system there. And then so we've only got this one spot open, which is Stoner Park in California, and fans of skateboarding will really, really dig this game because all the locations are based as accurately as possible on actual spots or parks. So this one's quite a decent sized park, but then next up you've got the Carlsbad Gap,
Yep.
which is basically a set of stairs. There's a couple of other options in there, but it's a much more contained spot. And then you've got a couple more parks and another set of stairs. And it's kind of interesting playing a skating game where it's just a set of stairs, and you've got that pin at the top, and you're just kind of hitting it over and over again and trying to do different stuff on the rail and trying to land the biggest thing you can just down the set. And it works really well, except the game has a really neat kind of social implementation that conceptually I really like, but in practice they've kind of implemented it in a really heavy-handed way. And what that basically means is you can browse through. You can if you do a run that you like, if you hit that set of stairs just so, and then you go on and in a manual and do another trick. You can save that run, and that gets uploaded, and for other people, basically as a challenge. Now that is a really cool idea because it basically means that you can browse through other people's runs and see what stuff other people are doing in the game. That I really like, but to kind of get you into it, you have to save a certain number of runs and beat a certain number of runs to unlock each subsequent location. And that's totally fine for the first one, say, because as you can see, it's store 1, copy 2.
Yeah.
But then it's just like an exponential increase in the number of runs you have to store and copy. Sorry, copy, I should say. to unlock them. So by the time you get to Hollywood High, which is a set of stairs, or 2 sets of stairs, you gotta copy 50 runs.
Yeah.
50 runs on a single set of stairs. It's not even like it's a skate park where you're like seeing all this different stuff. It's just pretty much variations on the same things. And then you get to the final location, because you can see Love Park at the bottom is coming soon.
Yeah.
The final location is the Barracks, which is a really sweet indoor kind of warehouse setup. And then you still get that run layer, but there's no challenge associated with it because there's nothing more to unlock.
Yeah.
So it's quite a heavy-handed kind of implementation of a structure, and I feel like it's a shame. Like I definitely think they should be encouraging people, to experiment with, with this run system and play around with it. But I don't think it should be necessary, especially for a game that's kind of, it's really cheap and you're just carrying it around, playing in quick bursts, and you might just want to hop in and just do some session a spot. Like I don't think they should kind of have it all kind of locked from the get-go, which is what they do have.
Yeah, it feels kind of like the thing you'd expect in, say, like a free-to-play game, to get you to keep playing it and keep seeing their ads, or just to get you to keep, seeing the same thing over and over and over again. But seeing as though you already pay like $5 or so for it,
it
feels weird to lock the content.
Totally. So that's a bit of a misstep, and kind of the more I play, like the controls work really, really well. But it's not ever going to be as reliable as analog sticks.
Yeah.
The kind of flick-it system for Skate is just has so much nuance about it, so much elegance, and this, it's harder to be consistent with. Thankfully, the pin system means it doesn't really matter if you kind of botch something up. You can just give it another try. And
the good thing is, though, you can tell sort of the impact of the game like Skate has had on the crew that has put this game together.
Totally.
Which I think is quite good.
I think we'll keep it kind of short and sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing an absolutely awful job at demoing this, so I'm really sorry, everybody. But this is a game that it's not really about kind of showing off in 2 seconds exactly what makes this great. It's about going, okay, here are the kind of the building blocks, and they're quite elegant and. For skaters who like flip tricks, you'll love it. It's heaven. It just feels so satisfying to get tricks right, and that's the key ingredient for me for a good skating game. Is freedom, and kind of that tactile kind of skill-based gameplay. So this game does an awful lot right. Great mechanics, great presentation, but flawed structure. But it's a great beginning, and I can really see them building on this. 7.5. But if you're a skater, definitely recommended. So thanks for checking it out, everybody. And
if you work at EA, just a reminder, Skate 4, anytime, whenever you're ready.
Yep, that's exactly right. So cheers, Luke.
Cheers, Cam.
Bye.